the fact that Brian Kemp got so much credit and applause for, basically upholding his election and getting in a fight with Trump is infuriating, because the dude is a terrible person for so many reasons and made it really hard to vote. And then that's the other narrative. If it was so hard to vote, then why did so many Black people vote, Chrissy? What about all that?
Right. So he did one sort of decent thing, which as a citizen of the United States, and he's been getting the credit ever since. So it makes him seem like he's not an Abbott or a DeSantis or a Youngkin. It's like, oh, he sort of didn't let Trump steal the election from his state. So all of a sudden he's like this great savior of democracy, which is not the case. Like, don't forget, he has lawsuits from the Republican Party because they feel like he stole the primary in 2018 and when he was Secretary of State. And that's basically like playing in the Super Bowl and your team is like, not just the coaches, but the referees and everything else and people in charge of the equipment. I mean, he was literally in charge of the equipment for his own race. Like, make that make sense. So then it's just like, yeah, just because people voted, it's like they voted despite the fact that it was harder for them to vote. They voted despite the fact that all these institutional barriers were set up to make it seem more difficult for Black people to vote, or people in particular communities, which coincidentally happen to be highly Democratic or coincidentally happen to be highly Black. So it's like, just because you have good numbers despite the institutional barriers doesn't make it like applause worthy Brian Kemp at all.